And we live, baby. Hold on, I need to turn them around, make sure they can see me. And we live, baby. Welcome to a different format of the Candid Casual Conversation with your host, Donovan, man.
Jen.
Do, 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 do.
I should really actually fully go by Janice online.
Why?
Because my social media is under Journey with Janice.
It doesn't matter. It's the same person, right?
I know.
Oh, cohesion.
Cohesion.
I'm all for
branding.
Branding.
So says the influencer people. The branding is very important.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So I'm trying to be on brand.
And that's another thing, before we even get into today's topic, branding versus just content. You know, you could get paid for one thing, or you could just get paid for you. And I think that's been my mentality and our mentality with making this. Like, this is not just going to be the one thing. This is going to be one piece in many, you know, leading to our own contents, our own things, like me with my video games and my Twitch, her with her personal growth and development journey, and whatever else we decide to do. Sky's the limit for real. Nothing's stopping.
Goodness gracious. But at this point, I'm just like, we have to do something with social media. We spend too much time on social media to not be getting paid from social media, you know?
Exactly. Because, you know, social media, like everybody's on it.
What?
No, it's just because social media.
Because, you know,
social media.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh my
What does
gosh.
that mean?
I was going to explain now.
Be so for real.
I'm being so for real. Like, no, but everybody uses it. That's what I meant. Social media.
Yeah.
Like, it's like almost saying news. It's almost like saying movie.
Most people don't even watch the news, actually.
No. Well, you got to think about all the older people that do.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that social media is some people's news.
I really think
social media is how people get their news. It's how people hear new music. It's how people know what's going on in the world around them, trends and all that. Apparently how they expand their vocabulary, because everyone knows what demure means now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
shout out to social media for
Very
making
cutesy,
the people
very yeah. We're gonna skip over that. Finish the word for me, please.
demure.
Thank you. That.
Judging you on such a harsh level. It's fine. Get it together.
Everything is got together.
How are we going to go viral on the internet if you don't even know how to, like, do the internet stuff?
That's why I got you, obviously. Two polarizing characters captivating the audience with, you know, one with the trendy, fight. But yeah, yo, today.
Let me put this on Do Not Disturb, because I know that
She's
as soon as I
person.
start filming,
She's a busy girl.
Now everybody gonna want to talk to me.
So yeah, if y'all never knew, I am an avid medical cannabis connoisseur. Not connoisseur, I am a medical card holder. So legally, I can possess marijuana. Now, hopefully that applies to legalities when it comes on camera. But
I mean, currently you're in the state of Maryland, which anybody over the age of 21 can possess marijuana in Maryland.
Ooh,
so you're fine.
There we go. But, you know, this is my preferred thing. Let me tell you why. Because we don't realize how everything, well, just growing up here in D.C., alcohol is everywhere.
Alcohol is everywhere.
Alcohol is already everywhere. Alcohol is just there in general, right? But because it's always there, I always had the assumption, because everybody does it and it's okay, this thing must actually hurt you a lot more in the long run.
Because why else would the government make it accessible if it wasn't to hurt us on purpose?
To make money from us. That's what I think too.
True. But they make money from us being hurt. Hospitals.
Well, would you argue that doctors make money off of us by being hurt, or Big Pharma makes money off of us?
Big Pharma, absolutely. I don't think that most doctors really get into it on some, I'm going to make a whole lot of money just treating people and never actually curing them. I think that most doctors would like to cure diseases. A lot of doctors would like to genuinely help make people feel better, not just, I'm going to have them come back for this surgery 3 times that I could have done in one go just because I want to keep getting paid from them.
Exactly. Ooh, good point. That's a good point.
Like the medical industry and like Big Pharma will do it like that. But doctors that actually want to help people will just be like, no, we can get it done.
Speaking of doctors, speaking of medicine, speaking of help, it leads into
Where are you going?
today's topic for this episode is therapy. It's not going to therapy.
We're
It's
going
us.
to
We're
therapy.
going to therapy. This is the kind of like an episode of therapy. Like
This is what our therapy looks like.
truly.
Couples therapy.
Exactly. Without going to a licensed couples
Therapist.
therapist.
Which is not good. Don't be like us. Be better than us. Go to a professional. You should also just talk to your person. That's what we're going to do right now is talk to our
I was
person.
about to say, I think we're doing a good job there.
We are.
Okay.
But I'm saying, like, don't... You and I can do this because you and I have worked out a way that we can do this. Not all couples can do this.
Yeah, you got a point.
Not all... Some couples need a mediator for them to really ease into more difficult
this
topics.
grinder's pretty big. Oh, it's kind of...
It's huge because his hands are huge.
My hands are big.
So, it's like a pretty solid...
Like putting that in perspective.
Solid size.
But for me...
This would be my whole hand to grind.
That's her whole hand.
I'm doing it.
You're doing it.
Am I doing it wrong?
Yeah, you're unscrewing the middle part.
Oh, fuck.
All right.
Okay.
Just give it
Just
back.
the top part?
Yeah, you gotta grind it though.
Oh my gosh. I want to do it.
Oh, y'all, this is one of those moments where if she messes
I'm
up,
doing
it's gonna
it.
be on the floor.
Okay. So the bottom part is screwed on, right?
All right.
I just
so
need to move the top part.
This literal.
Just that part.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm trying, but it's... It's too big for my hand. I give up. This is the reason why I'm not a stoner, guys.
Oh my goodness.
This and because I'm not great with lighters either.
Seriously?
No. You've seen me try to light.
Hey, yo, if y'all understand, watching her trying to use a Bic is like, I don't know, what can I compare
I just
that
use
to?
the candle lighter, the one with the trigger, because
Yeah.
I hate the
flick it to flick
pull
it.
the thing back, especially my thumb. It's not big enough.
She said, so if you were to try right now.
I can do it. See, I can do it. I just don't particularly like it. And sometimes it'll I have to put your thumb all the way on top of the thing, and that scares me
Why
because
don't
I
you
feel
just do it from the side?
I don't think my finger is big enough to do
It
that.
is. Just do it from the side. You see how much easier that is?
Wow.
Hey, we
I
getting
learned
somewhere.
something new.
That's like 1% progress. I take it as a W. But yeah,
You should start a band.
what's it gonna be called?
Match my note.
Hey, yo,
That was so much higher than it needed to be. But
Hey.
great job.
I tried.
It was nice.
I tried, man. But this is our therapy, y'all, and this is sometimes we're here in this segment of the house. Sometimes we're happy, we're laughing. Other times we might be a little pouty,
I'm pouty today.
I don't know why though. Well, you told me why.
I think it's
You wanna
because
tell
I'm
them
starting
why?
my period in a few days. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, I'm gonna go with that. I thought it was, the anxiety thing earlier. I thought it was that.
Yeah, but it's also just being anxious. Today is a Sunday. I get anxious on Sundays.
Well, this is therapy, so let's talk about it. Y'all, we're gonna go into the dells of our psyche just for a little while, so you get to understand the craziness behind the craziness. You dig?
And I think the main reason why we want to have this podcast and be able to record moments like this, I think, is because people will look at their own relationships and be really hard on them and think that they're the only ones that go through stuff, which is just not true. So we just want to be here to let people know that you are not the only one that goes through the stuff. We are in a healthy relationship and we are also going through the stuff. So
Hell yeah. Because healthy doesn't mean 24/7, everything
peace,
is
perfection.
Yeah. Healthy means when you come across obstacles and things that might be holding you back a little bit, you both overcome them as a team, as a partnership, and not as both two individuals jumping over the same hurdle. Because have you ever seen two people clear over one hurdle? They're both going to fall. And that's a little bit of...
That's hilarious.
That's how I always looked at it, though.
You're right, though. You are right. But yeah, no, it's Sunday. I get anxious on Sundays. Really? Because I know that Monday is coming and I just don't want Monday to come. Monday is just such a sad day for me. Monday means I have to go to work. Monday means that you leave for the weekend. Monday is just, ugh. I hate it.
A Monday means you get to see a new week as well, especially in your case, this Monday, after you get through this series of events, you got 2 weeks off.
I do.
Paid.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't be happy if I wasn't.
I'm about to say, right? You know what I mean? Because that'd be crazy.
Shout out to salary jobs, everyone.
Hey, people be talking shit about 9 to 5s. I just think y'all just don't have the good 9 to 5 sometimes.
Yeah.
Like a 9 to 5, you don't have to worry about when you're supposed to get your money, when is the money coming. Like when you're making money by yourself, you gotta plan for those type of days. Sometimes when you starting out, you can't because you don't have too much. Like that's volatile, man.
Yeah, the whole planning for a raining day or planning
that's real.
For, days when, I'm not going to get paid this week because of the holiday or something like, I haven't dealt with that in years.
If your business is just slowing up, like you started off full steam ahead and now everything seems to
They pulling back on your hours or something.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Ooh, I haven't had to deal with stuff like that in years.
But I do remember those times though, like me and the same, like it's not too often in which, we have to personally deal with that. But
no.
To those that are watching that still do, man, make
that's
it work.
Hard.
It's not even, nah, for real.
I mean, that's hard.
She said that's hard. I'm just saying make it work, yo. Like, cause it is hard. No matter what we do, what you're going to do is going to be kind of a little difficult, especially if you don't enjoy it, right? But make it work. Like have a plan. Like if your plan is just to make money, you could go anywhere to make money. You probably gonna be unhappy because money can come from anywhere.
Yeah.
But if you got a plan of how you want to make money, where you want to go, stuff like that, man, it's going to just lessen the blow. Like you might get hit a little bit, but it's not gonna sting that much. Mm-hmm. Like that's how I really think about it. Yeah. But yeah,
it's like a kick in the stomach. Ah.
Don't let it be like a kick in the stomach, man. Just
it is.
What makes it a kick in the stomach? Why do you feel like it's comparable to that? You know what I mean?
Because it's just such like a gut punch of like, right back to the things that I don't like.
I mean, if it gives you solace, like everybody goes through these same moments, every single person. Like,
I think most people go through like a little Sunday sadness.
No, I go through Sunday chillness. Like my Sundays.
I said most people, not you. Pass me my drink. Get on my nerves.
She got
this Negro come talking about. Not me. My mental health is great.
Nah, I'm not even going to go that far and say that, but I'm not even going to say most people have Sunday. Like that's like saying most people are like me, but I'm going to say like, nah.
I have heard a lot of people on social media complaining about not feeling great on Sunday night.
Really?
Yes.
Both guys and girlies?
Yes.
I don't see too many guys complain about the Sunday night blues.
Mm. Well, that's because guys typically just don't complain. Y'all are sad most of the time, but you just don't complain as much as women do. Y'all are sad a lot. A lot more than I thought.
What makes you say that?
In talking to you, I've been able to learn a lot more about how men feel because you're actually able to express your feelings.
Yeah.
Thanks. But y'all tend to be pretty sad.
I mean,
I don't think that you are sad, but the stuff that you tell me is sad.
And I think the things that I say is something that you can observe with other dudes. It's like it's not something like that generally just applies to just Donovan.
No. Right? That's the reason why I say men in general.
Right.
Because just the way that you describe how you think.
Yeah.
Is like, aw, that sucks. Like you really feel like no one would love you if you weren't useful?
I feel like
ouch.
I feel like generally on a general sense is like I feel like most dudes won't, like we know love is not capable without usefulness. Like there are always outliers, right? You grew up with a good family. Your mom and dad always said they cared for you, so you didn't really have to question it from anywhere else, especially when it's close to you. Like there's always these outliers, but like again, like generally, like love is attached to ability and your usefulness. Like the dudes that idolize love, but like what are they achieving in their own right for themselves? It's like they're gonna notice real quickly what type of love they're really getting, if it even is love to begin with, you know, in a sense. So I think a lot of dudes tend to be objectively more sad due to they're basing it off of what's real for them and not like what could be, what should be based off expectations, but just like I really don't get a hug from a girl unless I'm attracted to her. And what does that mean to get
Unless
attracted
she's attracted to you back.
That too. If I'm attractive to her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I'm like, you know, and if I recognize that, then I have to have like the confidence and the ability to go talk and go do whatever else I gotta do. You know, it's like so many layers to that. And, you know, dudes, and I feel like a lot of people in general, that we don't develop all of those things simultaneously. We might get really good at one thing and not pay attention to the others, and everything else kind of falls short. You know what I mean? So dudes are much more realistic in that, because they know like if I won't really get this, and idealism don't get me any closer to actually having something.
Y'all can just hug each other. That's what girls do. Girls don't have to get a hug from a guy in order to get a hug. Girls will get a hug from their friends, from
like
their
when we dap people up and do like one of those type of things. That's like the bro hug. Like you dap somebody up and do one of those. Like, you know.
But that doesn't create the same feeling as like a hug from someone that cares about you.
I mean, that's camaraderie a little bit. Like that friendship camaraderie feel. It ain't that same. Oh, I love you. Nah, you feel me? It's not that. I mean, if for some people, different strokes, different votes. It might be that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not limited to nobody, but from me and where I'm at looking at things, nah, man, it's not the same. You know, they both.
You and I will have like a 5-minute hug every Friday night when we see each other.
Yeah.
Because we do not live together. So we do have, I really enjoy the weekends. But yeah. No, you and I really will have like a 5-10 minute hug of just like, and I'm like, aw, he hasn't hugged anyone else.
Honestly, yeah, that's really real.
Yeah.
Like, they might not know, y'all might not know, but like I didn't grow up in a household that was really like that. Physically affectionate, man. Like I didn't really get the hugs, the kisses and stuff like that, man. But you know, everything else, by all intents and purposes, you know, smart, sharp, you know, just be on point. Like I got that instead. I thought, you know, you think you're gonna be good if you don't have one thing, but you got everything else. But then you realize, nah, you just missed a piece. So you feel me? Yeah, I need that hug, I love, I carry you type of thing, man. I don't need it from every single girl, but if the girl that I choose, that's something that was really important to me. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I feel like a lot of dudes.
That should have been how you would know that you would end up with a girly. That was like probably not from where you were from.
That ain't true, because I ain't want to limit my opportunities.
I feel like the girlies out here are much more like abrupt.
In what way?
As opposed to like the relationships that you've explained to me, and plus the girlies that I've met since being here,
right,
can just be a little more aggressive,
tumultuous and whatnot.
A bit more aggressive.
Okay.
A bit less lovey-dovey-wubby. I'm very lovey-dovey. And so that's why when you and I first started dating, I was like, oh, this will be nice for him to be with someone that is very lovey-dovey. Because I could tell that you needed that. Right.
I mean, yeah. I feel like every man needs to be able to feel what it means you could just open up to a girl. Even if you got a female friend, even if you got like a female cousin, aunt, like just to have that ability just to be able to have a woman there in your presence, and you be able to really just let it go for a moment. You know, just let the guard down for a split. Like, again.
Doing that around your guy friends isn't the same?
Because we figure it out. You know, it's not too much of a space where we just give way to just saying what was going on in our heads and our hearts, whatever the case may be, and we just sit there and just like revel in that for a moment. Where I feel like girls, y'all allow yourselves spaces to just speak about hard things, good things, or whatever, and just linger in it. Dudes don't like that feeling of lingering because ultimately it's attached to this thought that, hey, I could fix this low key. And if your bros,
you can't fix everything.
A lot of our bros, that's why our bros there. Like when we talk about it, most of the time they gonna tell us whether we right or we wrong, and then they gonna help deliberate about how to make it better or how to fix said problem. You know, that's why, like, you know, I don't think on that level. That's why I don't think it's the same.
Mm-hmm. Other side.
It's not to say it's not useful, because it's like, nah, camaraderie, like team, like my bro, you got my back, you helping me right now through this moment. You feel me? So like, it's the same level of like importance just as much as receiving that from a woman, especially in this time. And it goes both ways, where a lot of times we all run into negative interactions with the opposite sex, and that jades our expectations of how we would like to communicate, how we would like to receive love and receive, like, even just like common gestures of help or whatnot, man. Like, it does jade it a lot, and it takes a lot to get to the point of being aware how much it affected you, and then you actually doing something. So like, all this stuff is really difficult, for real. Licensed therapy. Let me stop.
Insert BetterHelp commercial.
Have you ever felt really bad and you had nobody to talk to? You
BetterHelp.
Somebody.
BetterHelp. Download BetterHelp today.
Exactly.
And they will hook you up with someone who may or may not be a licensed therapist. And then that person may or may not ghost you after 1 to 2, maybe 3 visits, because they probably are going to stop doing BetterHelp because they recognize that their reviews are tanking.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably switch to a different platform if you do find a good one.
Because they're not real.
Not real therapists. Which is hilarious. I was like, I would have went to go get a job at BetterHelp. I'll be someone's fake counselor.
At this point, like, we could probably do a better job in that aspect than from what we read on the reviews from people's real experiences, right?
Exactly. Like, here's my BetterHelp audition therapy session right now. That physical touch, how did that make you feel?
You rubbed the wrong knee? Make me feel wanted.
I'm glad. I want you to feel wanted. Have you ever been in a relationship where you didn't feel wanted?
I think initially, like, it never really started off like that. Mm-hmm. But through time, like, through actions, less of like, I don't really pay attention to what people saying. It's like how you're moving when it comes to me and circumstances that share us. I would get to see those instances and be like, I don't really think you want me for real. I think at one point something about me you did like or want, and then being around me you just didn't like me, and that's cool, you know. Yeah. But yeah, I can attest to that. I just like never thought deeply about it, like, you know, like, because I figure like once I'm starting seeing it, it's like, all right, well, it is what it is, whatever. I'm not gonna sit here and just continue to waste a lot of heart power, brain power. So did
you break up with them at that point?
Like, I would just like keep that in the back of my head. Like, I should have, like, looking back, I should have just been like, but I played stupid for real. I just been like, until like it got blatant, and that's like when I learned, like, you don't play stupid on shit like that. You know, you just like cut it off, do what you got to do, whatever, and hopefully, you know, that solves the rest of the problem. You find somebody that you don't have to go through that with. You know, that's ideally from my head how I handle that. You know. But yeah. A lot of the times I feel like that happens because people have an idea of what they think they want on both sides. You know, we have ours, they have theirs, and like you get a real person, right? Which is not your ideal, it's just what's real. Like, so whatever flaws and good points they come with, they come with. I think that ain't good for a lot of people. Like, even the people that have high expectations, they don't see themselves as just a regular person. No matter you strip like the money, you strip the stuff off, you still a person too, with experiences, with disappointments and joy in the mix, all the same. So when you start having these high expectations and you started wondering why your your world, though very vast and big, your interpersonal world is becoming small. You got to start seeing like who can climb over this wall that you creating, you know, even if that's through your expectations and stuff like that, you know. I think people unconsciously nowadays is promoted, and it's like it's done so much, you know. Like even when we first started dating, I had like my little, I don't want to talk. Nah, I do want to talk, but I ain't gonna talk about all this deep stuff, because why I want to talk about all this deep stuff. But no, seriously, that's my.
And I was like, what else would you want to talk about?
But you feel me? Like that was when it took a minute because of everything, but you had to snap out of it. Like, oh, all right, this ain't that. Some people,
I was never very good at doing that, so that was always interesting to me, because I've always been the type to give people lots of chances.
Yeah.
And I was never really on some, oh, well, I've been hurt, so I'm going to have this, like, huge wall up. I would very much so wear my heart on my sleeve, which, you know, means I got hurt a lot. But I also didn't want the experiences that I had to change me in a negative light. Because I knew, even as like a 19, 20-year-old that was crying in her, you know, college apartment over some boy on Tinder that, you know, stopped talking to her, whatever happened. I also knew that whoever my like future husband is, he is going to appreciate the fact that I am still like soft and gentle and kind and loving and trusting. I don't think that it would make me better or more attractive or a better girlfriend, a better wife for me to be more rigid and hard. How would that help me in my search for love? You know what I mean? That's kind of the way I thought about it.
I think people don't look at what they're gaining in the absence of something, in the absence of a principle, in the absence of knowledge. Like, what are you gaining? See, I think a lot of people don't have that mindset. So in the absence of that person being there, you're gaining resilience. You're gaining that ability to know what you want and what you don't, boundaries, you know. See, I think when you take a true, what seems to be learning a losing or a harmful or traumatic experience into a true lesson and pick apart that whole circumstance, you start to see, like what you say, like what to be grateful for in these moments type of thing. I think that's a mindset that helped me not be as hard on myself when I feel like I'm not achieving personal milestones and goals, because it just brings it back to that central awareness of like, I did gain something.
True. I need to do better at that. In recognizing that although I may not have, you know, reached these like milestones and goals, that I'm still doing well. Because you and I both know that I'll just be like, I'm terrible. Everything sucks. I'm gonna die.
She gets so dramatic, and I'm like, there. Sometimes I do get on a little spiel, like, what's going on?
A little spiel, like, what's going on? You will get angry.
You will get
genuinely irritated.
I do get genuinely irritated.
Genuinely irritated with me, because you're like, what are you talking about? Like, how you and I have had this conversation. You know that, you know, your life is worth living and you need to calm down.
Right. Like, that's,
and I'm over
guys
here
know
like,
where I'm coming from. Guys, y'all know where I'm coming from, yo. Girls don't know, and they probably like, you're mean.
You're not mean to me in those moments, but I think that you are like frustrated, because I mean, who wouldn't be frustrated to hear their partner be so sad and down and negative about life, the life that they're living? But
the thing is to temper my frustration, for this is your moment and you kind of need your space, and it's not
which mine. You let me have my space. Yeah, but you won't let me stay there for as long, because some days I'll want to stay there all day and be like, I'm going to be depressed all day. Yeah, I don't like and that. You're like, no. Oh. You can have 15 minutes and then we got to move on.
Exactly, yo.
We got to go, because this isn't great.
Because I don't want to, it's like, here's what I always used to think, conceptually and spiritually. Like, if you linger in the darkness with no intention of traversing it or doing anything but just sitting there, some gonna reach out and grab you, and you ain't gonna know what it is. Real talk. And this concept, like when you sit down and just stay with your thoughts, sad, depressed, whatever the case may be, what else is going to reach out to you? Another one of them, you know, and it's just going to repeat the little cycle over and over and over until you consciously like navigate through this and see your way out of it. And that's why I'm like, I can let you have your moment, and I'm not going to sit there and put a time limit. But if you're going to make a conscious decision, just to, I'm about to stay here. I'm like, all right, nah, you can't do that. Like, that's not healthy. Like,
which I appreciate, because it is not healthy, and I know that.
How many
I think that there's so many things that we do as humans that we know are probably not great for us, but we just do them anyway. Even when it comes to something simple like what we eat. We'll be like, this is terrible.
Like somebody could
But I'm going to eat it anyway because it tastes good.
Or me right now, like somebody could sit there and be like, yo, you're smoking, you're drinking. Some people are straight edge, right?
True.
You know, even on that level right there, you know, we all make choices that might not be the healthiest or the greatest decisions. I just think that if you are willing to partake in these things, you have accepted the cost that comes with it. Therefore, you should be void of judgment when it comes from the outside. Really, you know.
No one's void of judgment.
Nobody's void. Nobody said you're excluded from it, but void because internalization of that judgment. You have accepted this. So if somebody casts their judgment on you for something you already accept and you own up to or whatever, it's just like, okay, you feel better about getting this off your chest now? Because I'm going to keep doing what I'm about to keep doing.
Yeah, because you have accepted it for yourself.
Yeah.
I think that may be where a lot of people struggle, is accepting who they are.
Ooh.
So then when other people judge them for it, they're already judging themselves internally. And then they also get the judgment from the outside, which is, you know, probably very frustrating. And it just makes them feel worse about themselves.
And you know what? That's real rough, you know, because if you're struggling with acceptance, and then like we shouldn't even focus on that judging part. Like you got like people truly
need to focus on accepting yourself
for whoever you are, whoever you want to be. Before you start even focusing on what somebody's saying, you're probably getting real mad because you don't even know much about yourself to even say, nah, you wrong. You're probably mad because maybe whatever that person said
is true.
On some sort of level, like the shoe fit, wear it. If it don't apply, let it fly. But if you find yourself getting mad at a statement, somewhere that should apply and flying towards you. You know, so you know it's not easy, and I feel like people redevelop themselves multiple times throughout the course of this entire life. So
they should anyway.
Yeah, they should. That's a better way. Yeah, you're right. People should, but in a sense that they do not develop multiple times, you know, it's like,
imagine growing up to being like 25 and then being 35 and 45 and 55 and you still have the same exact thoughts, beliefs, motivations, aspirations. It's like you've gone nowhere. You've gone nowhere.
And you know what? And it's like you can still move without even having motion or movement, whatever anybody want to say, man. Because it's like learning and applying what you learn to try to put yourself somewhere.
Oh, child, the ghetto.
The ghetto.
The ghetto.
There's my car.
Better not be my car.
No, your car ain't flashing.
Okay, good. You can see it from here?
Yeah.
Good.
I was like, what in the world?
I like that. Honestly, these mics are very voice isolating, so they probably couldn't even hear the...
That's actually dope if that's the case, you know what I mean?
I believe they are.
Let's talk about us, though. Overall, how are you?
Well, first I'm anxious because I don't know what time it is. Okay, it's 2:45. So I had to get that off my chest immediately.
Right.
Because I was like, what time do I need to start preparing for practice? Which I have time. I have like an hour and some change. So I'm okay.
Right.
But that should probably tell you kind of how I am. I'm a little anxious. I am a little down because I do have to go to work tomorrow, and you do leave tomorrow, and I do start my period this week, and I'm probably going to spend a few days crying and hurting physically. So that's not fun.
Oh.
So I'm not really looking forward to this week. I think it's going to be fine. It is going to be fine. And I know that, the sky isn't going to fall and nothing insane is going to happen.
The sky is falling. The sky is falling.
I know that, but just sometimes life is just not what you want it to be.
Yeah.
And right now, my life is just not what I want it to be. So it causes me a little bit of, I don't know how to describe that, knots in my stomach. No. But all in all, I am all right. I am fine. There's nothing wrong. Mm-hmm. I just have knots in my stomach. What about you? How are you?
Man, lately, I've just been really just reflecting on a lot. I can honestly say I've been reflecting for the last 2 years, for real, about where my life once was and where I'm at and where I'm going now.
You've been reflecting on the past 2 years, or you've been reflecting for 2 years?
On the past 2 years.
On the past 2 years.
And just seeing how much more peaceful my life had become, from what was going on, just circumstantially.
What was going on?
Man, 2 years ago, I just got out of a bad relationship. I lost my job, yo. I was still in school. School was kicking my ass. Everything that I was riding on up until that point just kind of just hit a fucking floor. And I had to really pick myself up. There was literally nobody there just in that moment where I felt vulnerable. I literally...
Family, friends?
Nah, my family was there, of course, but I even didn't get that level of I got the support where it was needed, where it really mattered, and but emotionally, trying to get through stuff, man, I didn't get that level. And I thought that for me, in my lowest moment, it took radical self-development. That was my only choice in my head, other than before I was going to lay over and just succumb to whatever depression, whatever you want to call it, man. I would do whatever the fuck it took to just change my life and my path and just go forward positively. And
well, now it's 2 years later. How'd you do?
And I made a whole lot of progress, man. I'm a lot happier, found you, got my job straight now, money is looking good, you feel me? And I just want, for real, it's just I've been looking at life like a series of not even generational curses, but these are choices I made, my ancestors, my elders made, and they culminated up to this point. Now for me, in this circumstance, in my circumstances, however I want to go forward is going to be my segment of this story. And to me, I just rather choose to learn from that past, learn from that foundation, and create one that's just so much better. And I'm not talking some daydreaming sense, something like that where overall a family's going to be more loving, caring, there for each other, and just supportive of each other. And even though I have that now, my family is just going to look differently. It's going to be more open for people just to speak and just to navigate and just to really be there for one each other. At least this is how I imagine it in my head, at least. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to take a lot of work from me, not just from a money angle, but I got to develop that moral compass, develop the habits, my actions, and like not just say these things like that I'm saying on camera, but really being that person.
Well, what are you going to do? What are the steps? What are the things?
You have, well, for one, like, I believe for me to be the person that I am right now in front of this camera, I had to have a higher awareness of just myself, people, feelings, what we see around us, and really develop a higher awareness. A higher awareness that turned then to self-reflection and look at myself in this picture and like be honest with it, like good and bad. I had to really be honest with myself. It's not like it's going to be cool all the time from the things that you see, but you need to see them. And at least for me, once I got to that point when I was comfortable in what I saw, no matter what it was, I could then focus on becoming the person I want to be, whether I want to be more authentic by honesty means or whether I want to be more intentional.
I have a loaded question. So how do you see yourself now versus the person that you want to be?
Right now, I just look like the caterpillar.
You think so?
Yeah, really. The person I want to be, like, to me, I'm still the caterpillar. I'm a bigger caterpillar versus a very tiny one, but I'm still a caterpillar. I don't believe I got to the point where it's like, I fully blossomed into this thing. I feel like I'm still in that phase of like almost like getting rid of an old skin, like developing new wings, so to speak.
Well, describe what the caterpillar version of you is.
Who
are you? If I didn't know you, how would you describe yourself?
No,
like, how do you see yourself?
For real, if I'm being really honest, like, I always saw myself as like not a magician, like somebody's like, oh, spectacular magic, but I am who people want me to be. Like, then that's the true essence of me, right? I know who I am. I'm a culmination of myself is made up of every person's experience. Like, every person I interacted with, every person I spoke to, every person that's been in my life, you know, that culminated to me. Because I didn't have a strong foundation growing up of like what I was supposed to do, how I was supposed to think and carry out. For me, it was learning through people, small and large, that made me. So I coined myself as a magician because in some spaces I might be the cool, smart kid that's really dope to be around. Some spaces people might not like me, but I learned how to kind of tailor these aspects of my personality to meet where I'm at. So I called myself like the magician. And people might say that's real fake, but it's like, no, because, you know, oftentimes, like, I'm still talking about what I like to talk about. I'm still thinking the way and expressing myself the way I want to express, but I know how to be received because I grew up watching people. I grew up watching my circumstances, my environment, to keep myself safe in certain moments, you know? And it just naturally transitioned into a piece of my life and my personality in which, like, me, I'm a layered individual. I'm kind of complex. I'm not trying to be edgy or like dark or nothing, but it's like complex because I do have deep thoughts, but I also know that there's a lot of things in life that's not worth deeply caring about unless it's affecting you or the ones that, you know.
You are a little edgy and dark though.
In what ways? In what ways?
I think you're edgy and dark in the things that the way that you think, and even like your style and the way that you dress.
Really?
Yeah.
What about how I think?
How you think?
Yeah, give me an example. One example.
You remember the conversation we were having the other day where I was like, do you have any like faith or hope left in humanity or in like American society? And you were like, oh no, we're cooked. Like this is over. Like,
oh yeah, no.
You're like, we
can talk about that
This
part.
is quite bad.
Yeah.
There's nothing redeemable about this. I don't think that we're going to turn around from it. I think that things are going to continuously get worse until, you know, America is like the new Roman Empire.
Yeah, or whatever comes from it, right? But nah, like maybe that is kind of dark because I want to have all this optimism, but every year we have optimism. We keep seeing things go down a gradual depression and regression of ideals and morals and things that we see. And no matter how much I wanted to be positive, I see what's going on and where things are trending. You have pockets of positivity, and I recognize these. I wish we highlight those to give people more hope to make more positive pockets. I do that. But overall, no, I think people cook now. Low key, there's always real people that's like outside this internet space that don't operate like anything. Like these are just regular everyday people trying to live their lives. And that's the best representation of stuff. But for real, like, let the things that we see, the things that get headlined, the things that we have controversy over, sometimes you wonder why. Sometimes it's meaningless violence, senseless acts of just crazy brute shit. And
people are just like that now.
And it's always been that. To me, I always said these are just people, and these are peopling to the highest degree. The fact that you can see it, in fact that people see things that are shocking for the first time, they think that these people are special. But I think these are the
gotten worse though.
Yeah.
I think that it has gotten worse. It hasn't always been this bad. Mm-hmm. But more people are, stealing, looting, doing all the things because money is hard. This economy is terrible.
The money's hard, economy's terrible. People don't trust anybody because we all been isolated for a long time. Mm-hmm. You put all of like these circumstantial incidences together in one big picture, you see the recipe in my eyes.
For disaster.
I'm not even disaster because I don't want to look at it like if it's disaster, that means it's already folded. We're not at that point yet. But you see the recipe for where we're at right now. And that's how I always like to keep things in context. Like, this is where we're at. And I always say this is where we're at because things constantly change, constantly evolve. Just like us, we constantly change, constantly evolve. This is just a rendition of the world. And it's less about morals, which morals traditionally came from some sort of religious context before it was applied to said individual. But, again, we was talking about like Thomas Paine, Voltaire, those type of, and that type of literature that navigated the individual and less of the moral, the religious implications. And you can still be a good person without believing in these things. And you can still think logically and rationally and act in a according manner without the guidance of a higher power or the influence of it. Like, we're leading into that where, you reject one thing, but it's not like you're still a good person. People just reject one thing and then they use that to fuel whatever they believe. Like, the free spirit doesn't necessarily mean a good spirit. That's the thing. Then I always believe that you could be as free as you want, but are you good or are you bad? Do you hurt? Do you help? By your actions, not by your words or not by your mind. And that's the basis in which I looked at stuff,
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff. I felt like I was about to sneeze.
But yeah, I guess in a sense, I'm not really dark. I just try to keep being what's real to me.
Yeah.
I
don't think of it as a bad thing.
But it does come off as dark though, and I can recognize that a little bit.
I'm a little dark too. It's okay.
Umbrella, Ella,
What?
Nah, because she had the all black fit. Remember in that music video, she had the all black fit?
That was such a long jump.
I don't care. I jumped.
I said dark, and you jumped to Rihanna's umbrella.
Yep.
Just because she had on an all black fit.
And she had an umbrella. That's how I look at you. Like the girl dressed in all black with an umbrella. So you getting rained on, but it's not really rain because you still got an umbrella.
Excuse me?
It's not a bad thing. Let me break it down.
How do you see me?
Like you're Rihanna in the umbrella.
In the rain?
Yeah, like sometimes you say you're a little dark, right? Mm-hmm. And I looked at you like Rihanna in the umbrella music video. She had all black on with the umbrella on. So though it was raining, you had the umbrella. So it's not like you dark. Because you're not getting rained on. Your makeup will wash off. You get real black and soggy. Nah. But it's just more like...
I'm not wearing any makeup.
It's more like you... It's like you're the girl that gets sad, but you're not really sad because the rain's not really hitting you at times. But it's like...
I am sad... but you're right. I'm not I'm not extremely depressive.
Yeah.
Because most times and most days I'm quite happy.
Exactly. That's why I don't associate with you being sad because most of the time you're happy unless the sadness is behind closed doors.
The sadness is taking over.
It's taking over. It's crawling up your knee.
It's like venom.
Oh. Like venom.
But sometimes it sneaks up on me and I don't really notice it until it's here. Until I'm having a day where I'm just sad. What did you jump up for?
What's up?
He's like, I heard something.
What's up, man? You never know what the boy be hearing.
Never.
He be hearing everything.
But yeah, sometimes I'm just sad. And I don't know. I think it's just hormones, maybe.
Is it?
I need my vitamin D pill. I'm supposed to take it on Sundays.
Well,
That could help.
I don't know. Like, I'm a dude, so I relate to only sharing the feelings. Like, I don't
You
know
all
how.
have consistent emotions. I don't. We don't.
Yeah, that's why I said, like, it could be anything. It could be something different every week, for real, for real.
Yeah.
And as long as you don't hurt yourself in that process, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I really mean hurt yourself. Then I feel like that's what dudes, we kind of let girls just be. I just, I get, when y'all get there, y'all get there. Mm-hmm. Ideally, you might hear on the internet other podcasts like dudes talking about their ideal woman and shit, and just all this subservience and certain things to a certain degree. It's like that's predicated upon your, like, how you are as a man and as a person, right? To get that out of a woman. Like, if you can't even pull that out of your girl or girl you messing with casually, you can't even get that on a little bit. It's like you need to evaluate what's going on.
Pull what out of her exactly?
Like, you know, that side of you where you could be gentle and you could just have and exist and have these emotions, sad, happy, and joyous, and like feel like you don't have to block it off. Like, if a dude can't pull that out of a girl, his girl, or whatever the case may be, it's like you kind of got to look at that too. So that's why I'm like, to me,
you do that almost too well. Because when I'm with you, I feel all safe and stuff. And then when I'm supposed to put on a nice smile for the cameras, I'm like, I can't.
You don't have
I'm in
to.
my nice safe space with my boyfriend, and I don't want to be happy. I just want to sit.
But I think this is good because, like, you know, this is like a real relationship, right? Like, it's like, ideally you want to always spend your time with happy and funny moments and stuff.
Just not.
But even the most secure moments is when you could just be chilling when your partner's not feeling at their 100%, right?
Yeah.
I guess this is where you fill a rest up real quick with your presence, your words, whatever you do in these moments, right? So this is just how we look, you know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I hope, like, you know, at the end of the day, like, y'all don't be too hard on y'all. Like, if you in a rough patch or whatever, if you just starting, you unsure, man, talk it out. Talk it out. If, you know, look at everything, you know, ask questions. Like I can always say, ask questions. Don't assume. Stuff might look like the same, but unless you know where it's coming from, you really don't know where it's coming from, you know. And hear each other out, man. Like, it's not you against that person or whatever, you against nothing. It's like y'all in the situation at hand. You know,
it's us versus a problem.
Yeah. Like,
and the problem can't be each other. Like, you are not the problem. I am not the problem. Maybe an action that we took, maybe something like that, but
influenced it a little bit or something, right?
Yeah.
But it's like never you or me.
Yeah.
Or the furry thing right there. Nah, the furry thing, yeah, you
sometimes you are the problem.
Yeah.
It's okay. We love you anyway.
Exactly.